Good evening, brothers and sisters. I said, good evening, brothers and sisters. My name is Aaron Parker. I serve as pastor here at Zion Hill Baptist Church. And because this is a house of worship, we go to God in prayer first. So won't you pray with me? Eternal and gracious God, we are thankful for this day. For this is indeed the day you have made. God, we rejoice and we're glad in it. We thank you, God, for this time of thinking and reflection and choosing. We thank you, God, that candidates have come to present themselves for service to this city. We pray now, God, for each and every one of them, that you, O God, may touch their hearts and their minds, that they may do for the people what needs to be done. We pray now, God, for those who have gathered, who have worked so diligently to bring this forum together. We thank you for their commitment and for their dedication to the people of South Fulton. Be with us now as we go through this crucial and critical time of choosing. Allow this moment to be a moment where people think and reflect, and yes, God, make their choices. We ask these blessings, and we offer this thanks for this time and for all times. Amen. I want to take just a moment to welcome each and every one of you who have come to share in this so very, very important occasion. We are here today because life in these yet-to-be United States of America is crucial. We're at a critical moment, at a crossroads. So the decisions we make, brothers and sisters, are of utmost importance. So we did not think it robbery to have all of the candidates seeking the office of the city of South Fulton mayor to be here with us on today. We are glad that they are here. We are glad that you are here. And we welcome each and every one of you. For those sponsors who have come to share, of course, here at Zion Hill Baptist Church, our community action business ministry, along with the ladies of the East Point College Park Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Additional partners to help pull all of this together, the Tau Epsilon Omega Chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, the Greater Metropolitan Atlanta Chapter of Jack and Jill of America Incorporated, then the Thundering Tau Chapter of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. We have collaborated to bring this to you. Now, I was told that I was supposed to set the tone for today, and I'm setting tone. We will be respectful to one another in this place. Listen, you don't have to be afraid of me because I'm not anyone to be afraid of, but this is the house of God. So be mindful that this is the house of God. At the same time, we want to hear from these candidates. You're welcome. If you need anything, you will see people moving around and walking around. Just ask anyone, and we will try to accommodate you. God bless you and God keep you.
Thank you, Reverend Parker. Good afternoon. I am Joyce L. Wilson, and I proudly serve as the president of East Point College Park Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. It gives me a great honor for us to have collaborated with all of those that you heard Reverend Parker mention, and it's important for us at this time. Today during our sermon, Reverend Parker mentioned something, and he called it tag team processing and processing forward. We serve as a tag team in this community. Every one of us, those who are partnering, also our candidates. and our moderator. We are all tag teaming together to make sure those of us here in the assembly and those of you who are visiting with us also online, that we are allowing each and every one of you to get the information that you need to form a very important decision when it comes to voting. So on behalf of our chapter and on our church, because I am a member here, a very proud member here as well, we say welcome. Please sit back, listen, and make sure that you get those informed decisions that you need to be a knowledgeable voter. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon. I am Suzette Lassane. I am the president of the Tau Epsilon Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated and its foundation, the 20 Pearls Foundation. Thank you, Pastor, for hosting us in your home. We appreciate that. I want to also thank my president partner in crime, President Wilson. These forums are significantly important for us. I want to thank all the other partners, the Thunder and Taw. I also want to thank my partner in crime, president of the GMAC chapter as well, and you will hear from them. Most importantly, I want to thank the candidates for being here today. What we do know is these forums serve an important space for our community. It's a space that allows us to ask the questions that are important to have the impact. Making sure that we are present and aware is such a significant thing for us as constituents. These, while Alpha Kappa Alpha and many of our organizations are apolitical, we know the role that we've played historically in elections, in the fight for civil rights, and so today is no different. We're here to hear and be informed about the journey that's ahead, making sure that we can, that we're not silent, and that we don't pass off the torch of carrying the load for voting. It's an important fight that we do. I want to thank all the members of Tau Epsilon Omega chapter who have joined us today. We are so thankful for you and thankful for the work that you do in the community along with so many others, because we do believe that creating the space for education and impact is a significant role that we play. It is steeped in our DNA, and we will continue to support forums like this. So again, President Wilson, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Good afternoon. I am LaShawn C. Reeves, the president of the Thunder and Taw chapter of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. I bring you greetings on behalf of the men of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity, our grand bosses, Brother Ricky Lewis. Taw chapter was established May 1st, 1922 on the campus of Atlanta University. Through our cardinal principles of manhood, scholarship, perseverance, and uplift, we have served this community for over 103 years. We are proud to be here today. We thank each of you for coming. We thank you for participating and helping us select the next leaders of this community. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Tiadra Shaw, and I serve as the president of the Greater Metropolitan Atlanta chapter of Jack and Jill of America. On behalf of our 100+ mother members and our national president, Darlene McGee Willington, I bring you greetings and great thanks for being here. While federal elections address large-scale national policy, local elections have a more direct and immediate impact on your daily life. And so we in the Jack and Jill of America GMAC chapter are proud to unify in service with my sorors, the ladies of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated here in the East Point College Park chapter, and our partners all. We are all on a mission to be the best we can and to create informed voters, and so we proudly support this forum and are glad to continue to be in partnership with each of you. Thank you for being here.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sydney Jakes, and I'm the Vice President of the Tau Epsilon Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, as well as the 20 Pearls Foundation, our affiliate nonprofit. On behalf of the organizing chapters, I'm delighted to share the purpose of tonight's Meet the Mayoral Candidates Forum. It's wonderful to see so many members of our community gathered here, neighbors, leaders, and voters, all coming together with one shared commitment to stay informed and engaged. The purpose of this evening is simple but powerful: to promote voter education and civic awareness, because an informed community is an empowered community. By hearing directly from our candidates, asking questions, and learning more about their visions for our city, we take an important step forward toward making thoughtful, confident decisions at the ballot box. Events like this remind us that our voices and our votes truly matter. Protecting our voting rights begins with knowledge, knowing the issues, the people, and the power we hold as citizens. And thank you for being here, for caring, and for taking an active part in shaping the future of the city of South Fulton. Together, we're building a stronger, more informed, and more connected community, one that shows up, speaks out, and votes. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I am Georgie Anna Bolden, co-chair of the Social Action Committee of the East Point College Park Alumni Chapter, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. I have the distinct honor and privilege of introducing our moderator, along with our timekeeper for today. Our moderator is none other than Ms. Deirdre Dukes, who is a reporter and anchor at Fox 5 News. Deirdre Dukes brings more than 30 years of experience in broadcast journalism to her role as a veteran reporter at Fox 5 Atlanta. Known for her credibility and depth, she covers Georgia's top news and political stories with a focus on state and national politics. She also serves as a fill-in moderator for the station's weekly political program, The Georgia Game, and has appeared nationally on Fox political news show, Battleground. Deirdre is host and executive producer of the Emmy-nominated quarterly series, Deirdre Dukes Reports, which examines local and national issues beyond the headlines. Throughout her career in Atlanta, she has worked with organizations including the Center for Black Women's Wellness, the Atlanta Association of Black Journalists, the Junior League of Atlanta, and the American Red Cross Minority Recruitment Program. Her work reflects a deep dedication to public service and community engagement. She is an active member of the Links Incorporated and the East Point College Park Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. While passionate about journalism, Deirdre finds her greatest joy in being a parent to her son, Michael. Deirdre is a proud member of Zion Hill Baptist Church in the city of South Fulton. Our moderator, Deirdre Dukes.
Good afternoon.
I also would like to say who will be working with you, our
of course.
timekeeper. Our timekeeper for today will be Ms. Marsha Fullard. She is co-chair of the Social Action Committee of the East Point College Park Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Now let us begin.
Thank you. And candidates, as you know, Soar Fuller, my Soar, is the most important person in the room here during the forum. So this is the one you really want to pay attention to. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our candidates, to the audience members joining us, and also the members joining us via live stream for today's forum. Now, all candidates who are running for the City of South Fulton Mayor have been invited, and those who confirmed for their attendance today are Joseph Adiemi, Dr. Mark Baker, Kelvin Davis, former City of South Fulton Mayor Bill Edwards, City of South Fulton Councilwoman Carmelita Gums, Jewel Johnson, incumbent City of South Fulton Mayor Khalid Kobi Kamau, and Ray Mills. Ryan Olson is not in attendance today. Unfortunately, he had a scheduling conflict he tried to change and was unable to do so. At this time, let me begin by outlining the procedures for this forum. Candidates will have 2 minutes for an opening statement, 2 minutes for a closing statement, and 2 minutes to answer each question. There will be no rebuttals after questions. Candidates must not interrupt one another. Opening and closing statements will be made in alphabetical order. The timekeeper will be seated in the front row. When you have 1 minute left to speak, the timekeeper will present the green card. At 30 seconds remaining, the timekeeper will hold up the yellow card. Please conclude your response when the red card is raised. If you continue speaking after the stop card is shown and after I have indicated your time is up, your microphones will be silenced and I will move on to the next speaker. Personal references to other candidates are not allowed. Today's questions were prepared in advance by the City of South Fulton Pre-Planning Committee partners. As well, questions are being submitted in writing during the event. Audience members, you are not being left out. We ask that you please silence your cell phones and watches at this time. And in the interest of time and to maintain order, we do ask that you please remain quiet during the forum and refrain from clapping, cheering, or calling out, except after closing statements when you may applaud all candidates if you wish. And because you all took the time to come here, and many of you, I'm sure, have individual candidates that you're here to support, I'm going to allow you to cheer, applaud, get it out your system now for all of those who appear today. So if you'd like to take the time to recognize all of these candidates for taking their time this afternoon, we certainly appreciate it. Thank you. Campaign materials or signs are not allowed in this room or building. Now, you may use the index cards which have been provided to submit questions for the candidates, ensuring that they apply to all candidates preferably and focus on issues or qualifications for the mayoral office specifically. At this time, we ask that you raise your hands if you need another card, if you've not received a card, but you would like to submit a question. And if you have filled out that card at this time, please raise that card and your question will be collected. Again, if you need a card, raise your hand, one will be provided. If your card has been filled out and you'd like it collected, please raise your card and it will be collected at this time. Now, this forum is being broadcast live and will also be rebroadcast multiple times on Boxcast and YouTube. And for those members of the audience who are watching virtually, you may enter your questions in the chat during the first portion of the Q&A session, and those questions will be presented to the candidates during the second half of today's Q&A session. City of South Fulton committee members will review questions for clarity, legibility, and relevance to all candidates. Questions will be used as time permits, and similar ones may be combined to cover a range of topics. If your question is not addressed, it may have been merged with others. Now, this is, of course, a 3-hour forum, and we took that in mind, so we will take a 10-minute break at around 5:50 this afternoon. At that time, the streaming platform will post a comment announcing the forum will pause for 10 minutes. We did want to remind everyone that early voting for the November 4th, 2025 Public Service Commissioner Special General municipal general election began on October 14th and will conclude on October 31st of 2025. Election day is November 4th, and before you head to the polls, please take a moment to confirm that your voter registration is up to date. Every vote counts, and yours matters. So at this time, we begin with opening statements. Again, candidates, you have 2 minutes, and they will be, your opening statements will be in alphabetical order. Joseph Adeyemi, you have the floor.
Thank you. Thank you to the organizers of this forum, East Point College Park Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority, and to my church, Zion Hill Baptist Church. Thank you for hosting us. I want to also welcome my fellow candidates. Welcome to my father's house. Like many of you, I chose South Fulton as my home, not just for its beauty, but for its people. I got married right here in this very church. I was standing right there. And my kids attend Renaissance Elementary and Global Impact Academy. As a U.S. Navy sailor, I took an oath to defend this country. And as a project manager and father, service and responsibility are more than words to me. They are a way of life. I've been entrusted with the most delicate duty in the world, raising these 3 daughters here. Meanwhile, I've led operations on the deck of the U.S. Navy ships. I've led the presidential convoy as a military assistant, driving the #1 car in the convoy on Inauguration Day. I've received the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award by President Joe Biden, among others. Accolades aside, the virtue of discipline, integrity, and ethics that the military taught me are exactly what we lack in City Hall today. I'm running because South Fulton deserves leadership that listens, takes action, and delivers results, not excuses. So this election is about a choice. Do we continue down the same path of broken trust, or do we take a bold step toward accountability, growth, and real change? You decide. Thank you.
And we do ask again that in the interest of time, audience members, please hold your applause. Thank you. Next, Kelvin Davis.
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank you guys for welcoming, all of the candidates here, especially for welcoming me. I'm a longtime resident of District 2/District 3. We changed to District 3 a few years ago. But I just want to introduce myself. I'm a father. I'm a single father. I'm a caregiver for my mother. I'm a Navy veteran. I did 7 years active duty within the U.S. Navy as a military intelligence specialist. I'm also a federal enterprise architect and systems engineer. The reason I'm running is because I believe in this city. I believe in everything this city stands for. I believe in the residents, and I know that the residents are the strongest aspect of this city, and we need to introduce leadership that match the strength of the residents. I feel as though right now South Fulton is on the precipice of a great, I would say, future. Right now we have some things that's happening in Washington and in the federal government that I think the city of South Fulton is going to have to, be well prepared for. And I want to be the leader that leads South Fulton into what is coming to this nation. I want people to vet every single candidate here, vet me, understand my platform the first 100 days and what I plan to deliver to the city of South Fulton. Because right now, what I feel we truly need is the transformation of public service. Public service is what we are losing from everything that's happening within the cuts of Washington. And I want everyone to pay attention to, I would say the solutions that we provide here on this stage, because that's how we serve you, is through public services.
Thank you. Bill Edwards.
Good afternoon. I'm William Bill Edwards. I'm your inaugural mayor in the city of South Fulton County, South Fulton, Georgia, rather. In 2017, you gave me a big and bold task when all of you decided, well, most of you anyway, decided that we need to have a mayor. And at that time, you voted Bill Edwards as the person to do it. And we have led this city from an $80 million deficit that we had when we first came to when I left, a $75 million in the bank. So we have done a great job during that time. The first 4 years of this city has been hard, but it's been fair. And we lived miraculously through everything. We worked together. We didn't have integrity problems. We didn't have issues with processes. We didn't have nobody doing anything that was really wrong. So we want to make sure we bring that kind of concept back to where we are today, and let's get this city back to where we thought it should have been at this time. Vote for Bill Edwards, bring Bill back.
Thank you. Carmelita Gums.
Good evening. I am Councilwoman Carmelita Gums, and I represent District 2 here in the beautiful city of South Fulton. I have been on this council since the very beginning. Since 2017, when we didn't have a blueprint of what the city would look like, we didn't have emails, we didn't have computers, but we have paced through for the past 8 years, and we have gone through some things. We have seen missed headlines and missed opportunities that have happened here in the city of South Fulton. I have done a lot of work in District 2. District 2 remains to be the safest city for the past 8 years, the safest district for the past 8 years through programs that we have sponsored. We've done the annual gun buyback for the past 5 years. We also, one piece of legislation when I first came in office was the citywide neighborhood watch program. So there are different things that we have done to make sure that we focus on public safety within the district, and we've done extremely well. So those type of activities, I want to make sure that I transcend it across the city of South Fulton. I want to make sure that we continue to focus on our economic development. We have a lot of great projects that are happening across this city, and I want to make sure that you have the right leader in place to champion those things here in the city of South Fulton. So I am offering myself to be your next mayor here in the city of South Fulton. It is important that we get back to real leadership. It is important that you have someone that is ready on day one to make sure that the city will continue to move and thrive. So I am looking forward to doing that. And as we continue, we'll learn a little bit more about us. And again, thank you for your time today.
Thank you. Jewel Johnson.
Good evening. My name is Jewel Johnson, and I am the woman for the city of South Fulton. South Fulton has been in existence for 8 years, and I've had my boots on the ground since the inception of the city. I have worked, and now it's time to apply what we've never seen in this great city before, and that is truth to power, and not power to truth. And with that being said, I am a fixture here. I'm vested here. I'm married and I have 3 sons, 3 grandsons. My whole life has been family, work, and community. And you may go into any meeting and find me sitting there, taking notes, maybe even asking questions. I have worked very hard in South Fulton, even before we became a city. I went to over 300 units where I told people, we are already a city. All we need to do is to be chartered. And it was very hard for a lot of people to be able to accept that. And what I want you to know, I'm running because I want to bring wisdom and vision. I have vision. Because go to 285 and Cascade Road, all the way to Fulton Industrial. My neighbors and I did that. I've been the president, and I've also been over zoning. We made it, and it was not anybody but the people. That's the same thing I want to do in the city of South Fulton.
Thank you. Khalid Kamal.
Good afternoon. My name is Khalid Kamau, but you can just call me Kobe. I have a vision for our city beyond data centers and warehouses. Long before the city of South Fulton ever existed, the Fulton County Commission and its Economic Development Department spent decades trying to attract businesses, Fortune 500 companies, to the south side of Atlanta. And they met the same results that county commissioners and councils have met on the south side of Chicago, the south side of DC, the south side of LA, the South Bronx, and every other community where Black and brown families make up the majority of people. While the city of Sandy Springs at only 33 miles has more Fortune 500 companies than the entire 100 square mile city of Atlanta, the south side has only one, Chick-fil-A. I am running for mayor because I have this vision for our future. No one is coming to save us. So you better make sure that you have a mayor in office with a vision and a plan for us to save ourselves. Over the past 4 years, we've increased the city's revenues from $75 million to $425 million while cutting taxes, and we use that money to buy over 400 acres of land so that we could own our future, build a 911 center, a city hall. We have land for a permanent city hall and more, and then paved over 621 miles of road and installed speed bumps in neighborhoods across the city with a dedicated fund from all of those camera tickets that I had to fight this council to include in legislation. I am asking for your vote for a mayor with the courage and the vision to lead, and for those of you fortunate enough to be in the council districts 2, 4, and 6, a council with the sense to support the mayor you choose. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Mills, Ray Mills.
How y'all doing today? Come on, y'all can do better than that. How y'all doing today? Awesome, awesome. I am Ray Mills. I am a native of this city. Before it was a city, it was unincorporated Fulton County. I moved here in 1985. Technically, I didn't move here. I was born here. But nonetheless, I am the founder of Mills Academy, which is a school right off of Old National Highway. I've graduated over 1,500 kids right here from South Fulton. I currently employ 37 individuals from city of South Fulton. That means I'm responsible for 37 different families feeding their families. But I don't want to sit up here and spend my 2 minutes talking about me. I really want to spend the rest of my time talking about the city of South Fulton. Being a native here, I know this is good soil. No matter what the news say, what the blogs say, what online say, I know it's good soil. We just keep planting bad seeds. Every one of us up here is a seed. Some of us can see or have seen what's been planted. The seeds we've planted in the past 8 years have bared no fruit. It's time to stop talking about the city and start talking about the seeds. It's time to retilt, people. We can get up here and talk all of the great language and policy and all this stuff, but what are we actually doing? What have we actually done for the city, for this soil? You all got an opportunity to plant the right seeds going forward. And before you leave out of here today, I pray, in this house of God, I pray that you can choose the right seed to plant. Thank you.
Thank you, Ray Mills. Just a little housekeeping note before we begin with our first round of questioning. I've been informed that while we have stated and all candidates have agreed that there would be no campaigning on site, no campaign literature or campaign shirts, anything of that nature passed out, worn during the forum. We do have someone campaigning in the parking lot, apparently putting campaign literature on cars. And so whether you be a candidate, a campaign manager, or simply a volunteer or a supporter, we ask that you please not do that during the forum, during this period, as all have agreed that they would not do so. Thank you. On to our opening questions. We'll begin with Joseph Adeyemi. Priorities and long-term initiatives. What will be your top priority on day one in office? And what long-term initiative deserves your sustained focus throughout your term?
Thank you very much. I've been knocking on doors since May, and 3 things that the people want right now is, number one, to restore trust, because trust is currently broken. The promise made to the people while we were campaigning to become a city, those promises have not been kept. Number 2, they want businesses, sit-down dining, grocery stores. People are tired of going outside of the city to shop. Number 3 is people want to be safe in their own homes. Those I've summarized to this. There are 2 things that businesses look for. It's the people and the money. And the city of South Fulton, we do have both, which is because our median household income is $81,000, which puts us as number 6 in Georgia out of 535 cities in this Georgia. So we do have the people, 111,000. We do have the money to do this. We just need to get our act right. Like an African proverb that says, it's how you dress that you're gonna be addressed. So we need to look inwards as council and make sure that we present ourselves in good light to attract those things. Safety starts from prevention. We need to look at the root cause of safety. That's engaging young people, focusing on those returning from prison who have served their time, want to reintegrate back into society. Those are the things we need to start looking for on day one. So my day one in office is to prioritize those 3 things that I've said and start working towards achieving them. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Davis, ask you the same question. What will be your top priority on day one in office, and what long-term initiative deserves your sustained focus throughout your term?
Thank you for that question. I think that's probably one of the most important questions for me to answer. I want to encourage everyone to visit my site and look up my first 100 days. My first 100 days plans will revolve around digitizing and prioritizing the way that we submit permits within the city. I think once we introduce a standardized way for our businesses to be able to access business within the city of South Fulton, we'll be able to attract the businesses that we need. I think we also need to transform services for seniors. I think we need to create a one source for seniors to transition into seniorhood, to be able to access all of the resources that they've become eligible for, such as Medicare, Social Security, pretty much transportation, prescription medicine, everything that seniors rely on but have troubles accessing to. I think that we need to create a true transparency within City Hall. I think we need to actually display what the city is doing. We need to do that intelligently. I think we need to, create dashboards that residents can go to, any time of the day and just see what the city is doing, see what the city is spending, see what capital projects is on the way, see what projects are in process, and what's the status of those projects. I think it's important for the residents to see that these projects are being managed efficiently, especially with the $113 million capital project that's on the horizon with our police station and fire training station. I think that every resident here needs to see the schedule, we need to see the money, we need to see the spending, and we need to see everything that goes on with City Hall in order for us to regain the trust that we know we should have within our leaders. Thanks.
And this question, I should have made it clear, my apologies. This question is directed to all the candidates there on stage. So unless otherwise indicated, the questions will be for the full body. Bill Edwards.
Thank you for that question. The first day that I get into office, I'm going to institute the 4 pillars of my campaign. One is sustainability. We're not going to do things that we can't keep up anymore. We're not going to build things that we don't have the ability to keep up anymore. We're going to have to go in and change some leadership. And having a good council with us will help us a long way in doing that. Economic development. Someone once said that we're building stuff in schools aren't keeping up the pace. Well, what I'm going to tell you is this. Schools is a very important part of economic development. I don't care where you are. There's two things that people look for when they come to your city. That is public safety and a place to educate their children. Accountability is another pillar of what I feel we need. And accountability just boils down to trust. And we need a lot of trust in this government. And last but not least is listening. We have to start back listening to you people as taxpayers, finding out what you want, joining hands with you, and moving forward to make this a better and more prosperous city. Thank you.
Carmelita Guns.
As many of you all mentioned, trust and accountability is definitely something that we need to restore back within our city. The residents have lost trust. A lot of it is because we don't know how to communicate. We have done a very poor job of communicating. We need to streamline and start communicating in one voice. We need to continue to make sure that we're being very transparent while we're putting our finances online, so residents can easily have access to that information. We also need to continue to make sure that we're getting really down to the business of the people, focusing on streamlining business permitting and licensing process. That has been a very cumbersome process, and people don't want to come and do business in the city of South Fulton. It's a very difficult process. So we need to change the narrative on that. Also, what I do think that we need to do on day one is start collaborating with the council, resetting the tone, working together, understanding what their goals and their priorities are, because once that council member is successful, the entire city is successful. So those are the things that we're going to continue to have to open up and communicate and have dialogue. Sure, there are definitely leadership challenges, but we have a city manager that handles those things. But we need to start listening to the people. Start having more community town halls where we have listening sessions. I've been out on the campaign trail, I've been listening to folks, and they want to be included in the process. So that is my goal, is to make sure that we bring people in the process and we begin the community engagement that we need. But we need to streamline our communication and make sure that we're being transparent with the people. Thank you.
Thank you. Jewel Johnson.
On my first day, is I want to make sure that we address our situation with our money. I would be pushing a forensic audit. When you look at all the hiccups that we have had in this city, and along with that, I'm going to ask every citizen in the city of South Fulton to join my transition team. We must know where our money is going. We must engage our citizens. I would be spending a lot of time in the community, having town hall meetings, letting people know who I am and where they live, and talking with people, and talking with the staff, the council, because we have got to come together to solve these problems if we're going to move this city forward. There is no talking to each other. And I know this as a fact from growing all across this region, talking to all the people, letting them know what's happening to us as it relates to a lot of civic and social needs. The most important one is our health care. I want to make sure that everybody knows, and that's the reason why I'm asking everybody to please join me in my transition team, because there are so many things that I want to share with you. I am a visionary. I have a track record of getting things done. Go to jewel.com and read. You will find out a lot of things that I have done for you for many years. And I'm still working for you. Whether I'm your mayor or not, I'm not going anywhere. I'm invested. I will be here, even if there's someone else as the mayor.
Khalid Kamal.
Thank you for the question. If I am honored to be reelected, I will continue the great work that this administration and city manager have already been doing. A lot of the ideas that you heard tonight are already being done. We have digitized our permitting process through Tyler Technologies. Many of you with businesses may have received your permits in your email, and we're able to check the status of them. The city manager has introduced a process improvement team to streamline our processes beyond just the forms. We have done so many amazing things in the city, but I think a lot of the times you don't hear about them because our council has been busy spending your taxpayer dollars on hundreds of thousands of dollars of lawsuits and investigations that ultimately go nowhere. So one of the long-term things that I would like to focus on in this next 4 years is a revision of our city charter. Our city charter over the past 8 years has been amended a dozen times, none of them by the voters, none of them with the voters' input. So I do want you to visit KOBICares, KOBICares.com/charter to see some of the charter revisions that I am proposing to go on the ballot for you as citizens to vote on so that you can control your city. And finally, we're in our year of planning right now. If you go to cityofsouthfultonga.gov, you will see our 20-year future land use plan. As mayor, I have called to slow down that process. It's not due to be submitted to the state until June of 2026. We need all of your feedback. Any economic development we do is driven by the zoning decisions that we make on that map. And if we want something better than warehouses and data centers, then we need to begin to plan for them. I ask you to visit KOBICares.com/vision to see my economic development plans. Thank you.
Ray Mills.
Listen, my day one will be the last day that the city of South Fulton government is divided. Period. Listen, my grandmama used to have a saying that common sense ain't so common no more. We're gonna bring it back. We could try to enforce all these policies and all this stuff, but guess what? It won't go far if we are divided. I don't care how good the plan is, if everybody ain't on board, it's gonna flop. My day one is about uniting us, the people you elected. Because at some point in the past 8 years, we have forgotten the point of us being elected. Well, them being elected, I'm sorry, y'all haven't elected me yet. They forgot that we here for the people, not ourselves. It doesn't matter if I don't sit there and like everything you stand for. If the people want it, let's give it to them. My day one is about uniting this city. And I can't unite a city without uniting the local government. Day one under Ray Mills is the last day this city will be divided at the head, because we can't get nothing done down here if we ain't right up here. Common sense will be back common in the city of South Fulton under me. Thank you.
And finally, for this question, what will be your top priority on day one in office, and what long-term initiatives deserves your sustained focus throughout your term?
Thank you for the question, and pardon my tardiness. I had an extra event to attend. I am glad to be here, and I want to just say my first day would be to get with the city manager, and the elected council members. I believe that we would have to do a 90-day review. I would actually work with them in order to authorize that 90-day review. The 90-day review will consist of the protocols, the procedures, the policies of our city currently, measured against their effectiveness, and streamlining them with the employees as well as our residents. I would also ask for some residents to be a part of that review, and after the 90 days, come back to our residents with solutions to move forward. I think that our city has been somewhat under siege. There's so much information and misinformation that's being spread. The issues regarding transparency and lack thereof have been amplified over the past couple of years. And I believe the moment we give that review, we'll have an opportunity to come back and reset, relaunch, and restart our potential. Because I didn't have an opportunity for an opening statement, my name is Dr. Mark Baker. I am a former councilman in the city of South Fulton, represented District 7, and I passed some of the most progressive legislation in our region. First to write a reparations legislation in the state of Georgia, first to abolish Columbus Day for indigenous people, and the only out of 535 cities in the state of Georgia to end no-knock warrants under the Breonna Taylor law. Please, since we're in church, do what 2 Timothy 2nd chapter 15 verse says, and study to show thyself approved, a workman needed not to be ashamed, rightly divided in the word of truth. Please go to markbakerformayor.com for more information so you can see all of the work that I've done for you already and how we're going to go faster and further under my leadership and vision. Thank you.
Thank you. My next question is directed to all the candidates. It deals with your citywide vision. What is your overall vision for the future of the city of South Fulton, and how does your plan support and align with that vision? And for this round, we'll start with Kelvin Davis.
The overall vision I have for the city of South Fulton is to lead from the front. Right now, as I stated in my intro, we have to lead from the front because there's so many things going on in the nation in which many cities have not yet responded to. Right now, the nation is experiencing a labor market issue, and I think it's a lot more dire than an issue. Most companies have stopped hiring. Most companies have looked at ways to fire. Most companies are looking for ways to replace people. So I want people to understand that when we're walking around and we're driving in the city of South Fulton and we see these data centers, and we have 5 more queued to be approved within the city, that these are giant brains and they're replacing people. So if you ride by a data center, you can ensure that that is 100,000 employees that you have just rolled past, and they're replacing real people, real wages, and families are going to be impacted from that. So I want to create a city of South Fulton with an infrastructure that is training the youth for skills that are leading them into the future and not uncertainty. I want to create resources for people in blighted properties to get the safety and code enhancements that they need. I want to create resources for seniors to be able to be mobile throughout the city of South Fulton. I just want to create public services within the city of South Fulton that works. We know that we have many services that don't work as good as we think they should, and there's just ways that we can improve those. I think that with transforming the way that we provide services to our city, to our residents, to our youth, to our seniors, we can prepare and safeguard and protect ourselves for everything that's happening within the nation. Thank you.
Bill Edwards.
Let me make something clear. The mayor's job is to be the face and the voice of the city. His real power comes in the fact that he can, at some point in time, veto legislation. So you don't make promises you can't keep. If you don't have 4 votes behind you, one politician told me one time ago, if you ain't got 4 votes, you ain't got nothing but conversation. You got to have a relationship. So build on the relationship with the people that you have so that you can discuss a matter, come to some conclusion, and come to the table, and don't forget the community, and come to the table and get the business handled. One city of South Fulton, not 7, not 7. And for a long time now, we have divided ourselves and we marked over to being our own little governments within the government. We can no longer do that. Thank you.
Carmelita Gumbs.
I want to build a city and focus on a city that we are all proud of, that we can call this city our home, that we can say South Fulton proud. That is something that I want to do through my leadership. I want to make sure that we're getting down to the business, that we're focusing on infrastructure issues and making sure that those concerns are being addressed by the people here in South Fulton. I want to make sure that we expand programs throughout the city for our youth, for our family, and continue to do the work that we've done with seniors all throughout this city. So those are the things that I want to continue to work on, and make sure that we're really talking about public safety and addressing crime, continue to put in resources behind, as the former mayor mentioned, people don't want to live in a city where they don't feel safe or they cannot educate their children. So we have to go out and we have to talk about the narrative of South Fulton, changing that narrative. We need to become a more business-friendly community. We're not that as of right now. We need to tell people the type of development that we are wanting in the city that aligns with who we are here in the city of South Fulton. So as your mayor, your brand ambassador, that is what I would do to make sure that we're going out and getting the things that we want and desire with the people in tow so we can get the South Fulton on the rise. That is what we're looking to continue to do as your next mayor, and I will make sure that I do that. Thank you.
Jewel Johnson.
First of all, we have to realize that we have a trust problem in the city of South Fulton. We can stand up here and talk about all these wonderful things that we are going to do when no one has tapped the real problem. And the real problem is we are not talking to each other. And our council has buried down and taken everything from the people. As the mayor, I want to work with that council. I know all of them. They know me. I have a track record of getting things done. I worked 44 years as a nurse, and as a nurse, you're not just the eyes and ears of a doctor. You are a teacher, you are a counselor, you are a family member, you are a bridge builder. You bring things together, and I have that track record to get it done. Once I get that done, I am going to make sure that our council, staff, and all the citizens that want to be a part of this work along with us. This has to be done together. You've got to pull people together. No matter what you say up here about what you're going to get done when everything has been taken away from the people, you got to give the mic back to the people. You got to give the people an opportunity to talk about the zoning and stuff that's coming up, and you voting on it without the people input.
Khalid Kamal.
Thank you. I see in the audience a legendary lawmaker turned political consultant, Mr. Michael Hightower. I learned working with him over the years that your vision has to be put into a comprehensive plan that governs economic development and zoning. We are doing that right now. We're planning for the next 20 years. I encourage you to visit kobecares.com/zoning to see not only our city's plan, but my proposals for that plan, which included the introduction of character areas that were focused on economic development. We have thousands of acres of farmland in this city. Agriculture is Georgia's #1 industry, and we are not taking advantage of that industry in our city by creating the ability for our farmers to increase the production on those farms. Instead, we are cutting all of the trees down and building subdivisions, but not the shops and restaurants that people have asked for. So the second industry, one of the fastest growing industries in Georgia, is entertainment. We are having our second annual Global South Film Festival. We hope that you all come out, which isn't just about showing films and showing off our stories and our storytellers, but building a film industry like we see in all of the cities surrounding our city, but not in our own. Again, all of these ideas come not from my mind, but from the consultation with people, so I will continue to do what the people ask. When hundreds of people signed a petition to not build something, I'm going to veto it. When hundreds of people ask for everyone to be audited, I'm going to ask for that. Whatever it is that the citizens want, I'm going to try and make sure that I deliver. Thank you.
Ray Mills.
My vision is one word: boldness. We've had 8 years living on flat land, kind of coasting through. We need a leader that's bold enough to understand and to be able to see that we can be Atlanta Twin City for real. It's not just a slogan. Bold enough to understand that vision and faith go hand in hand. So I'm gonna give y'all a quick synopsis of who I am. I'm a guy who graduated high school in summer school, but I had faith. And with that faith, I had a vision that I wasn't gonna be a statistic. I'm a guy who got in trouble at a young age, right here in this city. But I had faith. And with that faith came a vision. It's easy to sit up here and say what you would do if you was elected, but I can sit up here and tell you what I have done, never been elected. God qualified me. I currently have Mills Academy. This is a guy who graduated in summer school. I own a school. I've graduated over 1,500 kids. I don't have a real estate license, but I own 7 figures in real estate in this city. I ain't got enough time to keep going, but let me let you know something. Faith and vision. We need somebody bold enough to know where we can go without limitations. MillsSF.com, everybody dropping their website, so I might as well drop mine. MillsSF.com, you can find out more about this bold vision I have for us moving forward. Thank you.
And again, because that is considered campaigning, and others have already mentioned their campaign websites, but no campaigning, we do ask that you all do refrain. That was a condition. You're not the only one who's done it, so I'm gonna let it pass, but just please refrain from expressing any type of campaign, literature, your email addresses, things of that nature. We do ask that you refrain from doing that while on the stage. Next up, we have Joseph Adiemi.
Thank you very much. I've heard quite a number of visions here today. We can have 5,000 visions for all we care. We are not going to achieve one if we don't collaborate. We have a strong council, weak mayor form of government in city of South Fulton. So unless we start working together, we're not going to achieve one thing. The mayor mentioned that we have a strategic plan, right? We have a 10-year plan. When people come to work, what's their immediate request? What can they look at to achieve? Those are the things that I deliver as a project manager. Bringing people together to prioritize. We need to first of all prioritize the strategic plan we have. So electing me as mayor, I'm not coming in to reinvent the wheel. We already have a plan. I am coming in to help the city prioritize what we need to do. Quarterly goals, annual goals, those are the things that we should be talking about now in our already existing strategic plan that we have. Now, as City of South Fulton, we can say, no, I'm not gonna bring warehouses here. I'm not gonna bring data center. It's cheap talk. What if City of Union City brings it in? What if Fairborn brings it right across our line? We have to collaborate. My goal is to work with other mayors around me, East Point, City of Fairborn, Union City, and the rest, to form a group so we discuss together. When we say no to something here, we want that echo across the south of Atlanta. That's my priority, is to first of all make sure that we start talking to one another, we start collaborating. No need to reinvent the wheel. We already have a plan. I'm coming in to prioritize for the people. Thank you.
And Mark Baker.
Thank you for the question. I was at church today at Open Word, and the pastor actually said, without a vision, people with Paris. And I have a vision. I have a vision, and it started some time ago. And I thought we were headed in that direction until a couple of years ago when our city became a punchline. The reality of it is, there's a sociologist out of Michigan by the name of Cooley who came up with the looking glass self theory, where he contends that we see ourselves, or we tend to see ourselves, the way others view us. And others view us as a punchline right now, when we have so much to offer that they don't even know about, and our city has yet to amplify. Part of my vision is to amplify the greatness of South Fulton that no one even knows about or talks about. We have a higher median income than the city of Atlanta. We have a higher education rate than the city of Atlanta. We have higher property value than the city of Atlanta. All of these great things, right, that nobody knows about because we're constantly in the media for foolishness. And I think that it's time that we shared that information, and then those people who notice who we are and what we are, now they already know what we have, right? There's somebody sitting in the Starbucks right now in California looking at our proximity to the airport and everything that they can do that we take for granted of doing currently. When I founded the Development Authority for our city, as well as the Urban Redevelopment Authority for our city, bringing $13 million just as a councilman to our city, they saw that potential and they're capitalizing on it. I had to pass an investor harassment ordinance to protect our seniors because they're trying to take the property because they know the things that we don't know. I'll do my job to educate. Thank you.
Thank you. And we have several questions from the audience, so at this time we're going to switch over to some of the questions that have been asked by our audience members in attendance this afternoon. And this is for all of those here tonight, all of the candidates. How will you ensure responsible development that preserves our character while attracting new businesses and residents? And Bill Edwards, we will start with you.
Many people talked about their vision and their strategy and why they do things. They talk about land use plans. The first thing you have to do is stick to your own plan. That's why you did it. That's why you voted on what you voted on. I think it's a travesty for us to accept what I may call second-class developers in our community who have proven to us that they don't do a good job when they come here. We need to make sure that they're not welcome. And we have to go out. We have to have a strong economic development department that's going to go out and is going to seek the things that we want and the quality that we want. And by doing that, we set a standard by which we want to work with economic development today, and by which anybody else who comes to our community will know that this is a standard they're going to keep and that they're going to be responsible for it. That's exactly what we need. Quality, quality, and quality.
Carmelita Gums.
Some of those things I have already done when trying to work with big projects that are coming to South Fulton, especially around District 2. Bringing the residents together, we've served as ad hoc committees and advisory councils of those residents that have been immediately impacted by any proposed development. Having them come together and work to slow down the project and actually having their input in the project to slow it down, and then also telling the developers what it is that they want. If we know that prior to the zoning that it's nothing that we could do, so we try to work together. So the collaborative effort of residents and the developers has worked extremely well. One of the things that I do think is important is that we do need stronger economic development. We need to make sure that we are telling people exactly what it is that we want in our city that aligns with our values here in the city of South Fulton. So that means that when we're going out, we need to have, the document showing what our greatest assets are and touting that. And we don't do enough of that here in the city of South Fulton. But that is what I am talking about in reference to slowing down our development, working very closely with the residents, and then also making sure that we're recruiting to go get quality developers to our city. Again, a lot of people are not interested in coming to our city right now because they're not taking us seriously. So we have to change the narrative, and we have to have the right people with the right leadership to go out and make sure that we're knocking on doors to get the real people to come to our city. Thank you.
Jewel Johnson.
Vision and wisdom is what we need. We have people sitting here talking about slowing down the development and bringing the people in, and what they are doing is masking the people out, not giving them an opportunity to be a part of their own city. When you tell a person that they can't even talk about their city in the public comment section, that they can only talk about what's on the agenda, you're stifling the people. You make phone calls, you try and get in touch with them, they don't respond into nothing that you are talking about. When you go to the mic to actually talk about real things in your community, you are publicly attacked. And this is true because I have been publicly attacked. But they say that the citizens does it. The citizens do not. I want to stop that. I have been working with people in this city all along. I didn't just pop up out of the nowhere. I am very, very concerned about where we are. I am a visionary, I'm a bridge builder, and I know that everybody is not bad. We have some good council people. They just need the right people to work with them. And that's what I want to do. I want to work with the people so we all get together so we can move this city where it needs to be. I have done it. Everything that you see, that you enjoy from 285 all the way to Fulton Industrial, my neighbors and I have done that. All I ask is that you work with me as your mayor. I want you on my transition team so you will know. If they don't work with us, I know how to go around obstacles.
Khalid Kamal.
Thank you. First, I agree 100% with our super citizen, Jewel Johnson. Thank you for your service. Again, economic development begins with this comprehensive plan. And a fun fact for those who may not have actually been watching or attending council meetings, we are required by state law to revise that plan every 5 years. One of the reasons is if you watch any of our council meetings, you will see very often for the most controversial developments, the staff is recommending approval of the development while the planning commission that's been appointed, their citizens, everyday citizens appointed by council, don't approve of the development. Or the council votes for a development that 300 people sign a petition for saying that they don't want. And as Ms. Johnson said, are not allowed to talk about it at a council meeting where we're voting on it. So that tells me that we need to take another look at that plan and get everyone on the same page. We started this year by making sure that our council and all of our boards and commissions on planning and zoning were sat in a room together with the University of Georgia to make sure that we all understood zoning law. And now we are working to make sure that that is happening. We are slowing down our revisions to this plan and this process so that you can be involved. And again, some of the character areas that I've introduced are agriculture and entertainment to take advantage of our largest and fastest growing industries, as well as making sure that we invest. We don't need to ask people to come here. We have the most brilliant minds already in our city, which is why I wrote this CDBG legislation that our city has that has given over $1 million to South Fulton entrepreneurs. And though I think a 93% black city, 93% of the contracts should be going to black people, we're not there yet, but we have in the past 4 years given $26 million in contracts to minority, women, and veteran-owned contractors. So I hope to continue that, investing in our own people for our own success.
Ray Mills.
Well, first and foremost, we gotta stop electing people that's going to sell us out for peanuts. And what I mean by that is, what happens is these corporations send these representatives down south in South Fulton to their buddy, call it a buddy-buddy system, correct? And usually somebody on council or on the inside helps push their initiative to build these cheap residents, to build these cheap houses, to put these places in places that the residents usually don't approve of them being placed. They sneak it through with various last-minute meetings, various last-minute bills pushed through. I've watched it for years. And they sell us out for peanuts. Right in front of us. They'll smile in our face and tell you, I don't know how that subdivision got there with untreated lumber. I don't know how that house got built with a firewall that only lasts 10 minutes. I don't know. They do know. Accountability brings responsibility, people. We can't talk about the relationship between government and ourselves without holding each other accountable. We got to start over new. We got to do a fresh start here in South Fulton. We got it wrong. That don't mean everybody on the council is bad, but it's okay to understand we got it wrong, people, and we got a chance to get it right. Thank you.
Joseph Adiemi.
Thank you very much. We have a comp plan in this city. So the question is, why do we go back and forth during our meetings? If we have a comp plan that we can always pull up, and if an investor or a developer is presenting a development, we can always match it against it. Is this a green area on our comp plan? You want to build apartments? The answer is no, it's in our comp plan. We don't, like I said earlier, we don't need to reinvent the wheel. Now, if you hire a contractor to paint your house red, you go back from work and your house is painted white. Wouldn't you call the contractor immediately and say, this is not what I asked you to do? So you elected the officials, right? If they are not doing something that you elected them to do, you should be given opportunity to speak up, right? But that has not been the case. So now ask yourself, what could be the reason why we go back and forth when we have a comp plan that has said you cannot build that structure in that area? You think through that. What could make someone fight tooth and nail to get a development that people around there have said no to? There's a development that has just passed that over 300 people signed that they didn't want it. Ask yourself, what will make your elected officials stand their ground to put what you don't want in your district or in your neighborhood? Pockets are getting lined. That's just the truth of the matter. I cannot sugarcoat it any further. That's the truth. Because why else will people who elected you, according to our city charter, citizens on top, council and mayor beneath them, if people who elected you are saying, I don't want this here, what will make you put it there? Thank you.
Mark Baker.
So I just want to start by saying listening is a part of the conversation. Meaning your job, listening to our answers, are probably the most important part of this conversation. Because you ask a question and we've been dancing and we've been dancing around without any tangible or deliverable responses to you guys. And I just want to start by letting you know mine. When it comes to those developers that we're talking about, if you go to my district where I serve on 138 in Peters Road, there's a light there. right next to a brand new senior facility that my residents pressed me to deliver. Before I left office, it was delivered. And that light that's there, that so many people actually lost their lives, the developer paid for it because I kept denying them until we got traffic calming devices in that area. So we have a brand new light and a brand new senior facility, and we have the ability to tell the developers and tell these people who come to our area how we want smart development, as opposed to just going along and get along. Yes, they're property owners. Yes, they have rights. Yes, we have to allow so much, but as lawmakers, when I was a councilman, I had the opportunity, again, look at my deliverables. The reality is we can mandate that every warehouse here goes green through an ordinance. We can say we want eco-friendly warehouses in the city of South Fulton, and we can write it in the ordinance, and they'd have to comply or go somewhere else. They're flirting with us because we're the pretty girl, and we're just constantly giving them what they want. When you've elected us to be lawmakers and we're not actually using what we got to deliver for you.
Kelvin Davis.
Thank you for the question, even though I almost have forgotten the question.
I'd be happy to restate the question. Would you like me to restate the question?
Sure.
And that goes for anyone on the panel. I know with 8 mayoral candidates, it is very lengthy at times. How will you ensure responsible development that preserves our character while attracting new business and residents?
I think responsible development comes with responsible leadership. I think that is key for me to understand as mayor what's my power. It's also key for me to understand what's the power of my council. So in regards to the question, I think that that's a tricky question because the mayor nor the council is responsible for development. As Mr. Baker has said, numerous times, he started the Urban Redevelopment Board as well as the South Fulton Development Authority. Those are agencies that are dedicated to steering and guiding the right type of development within the city of South Fulton. So with that, as mayor, I would ensure that my council, which represents 7 districts across the city of South Fulton, actually understand their constituents. It's important for each and every council member across District 1 through 7 to understand the unique characteristics of each district, because District 1 is not the same as District 2, it's not the same as District 3, it's not the same as District 4, and so forth. So we're going to have to really sync together our efforts, the efforts of the mayor, the efforts of the council, the efforts of the Urban Redevelopment Board, as well as the South Fulton Development Authority. And as mayor, I will ensure that I empower those different agencies to do their job. But with that, I want to bring opportunity as mayor to the residents. And with that, I want to start creating opportunity for the residents here to have development opportunity, to develop businesses, develop land, to be, the stakeholders moving forward. I don't think everything that we build has to come from the outside. I think that we should also start from the inside, and that's my vision for the city of South Fulton.
Thank you. Our next question focuses on crime and public safety. An audience member asks, what plan do you have to handle the shady hotels and motels that facilitate sex trafficking in the city of South Fulton? And Carmelita Gumbs, we'll start with you.
Well, we already are working in reference to that. If we're speaking about the shady hotels that are in certain corridors, our police department works very closely with those hotel owners to make sure that they have the resources. I know that right now we have some of our police officers that are patrolling those areas 24 hours a day, but that is not sustainable. So we have been working with some of the hotel owners to find additional resources that we can help with trying to make sure that those hotels are safe, that they have the proper lighting. So those are the things that we have been working on. We have heard the community, we've heard it being addressed in reference to the shady hotels. but a lot of it, we are addressing it through our officers, but we are employing additional resources where we're bringing in community partners to help sustain some of that as well. So that's what we've been doing. Thank you.
Jewel Johnson.
I must say, I've always been a very strong component of fire and police, all our first responders. I've even been through the police academy, and I've had constant conversation with them on many things. And yes, we have gotten rid of some of those type hotels. One of the things that I will continue to do, even if I'm not the mayor, and as the mayor, I will make sure that I'm continuously working with them. I'm continuously working with our council and our staff, because it takes everybody working together. No one person can do it by themselves. We must start talking to each other. We should have conversations with other cities, form partnerships with them to make sure that when things get out of hand, all our staff have to do, our policemen have to do, is just hit the buzzer for help, for whatever they need. And when we do that, we are much safer. And I'm telling you, it's not gonna work until we start working together. And that's one of the things that I plan to do. I have a history of getting things done. And I work very well with our fire and police, even as an advocate.
Khalid Kamal.
I'm not sure what hotels they're talking about. There are some shady hotels on Old National, but they're in the city of College Park. Our incredible councilwoman, Dr. Catherine Rowell, is here from District 1. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we have any shady hotels on Fulton Industrial. We've worked with the Fulton County Commission to demolish all of those. So the question is, what do we put in their place? Because now that the shady hotels are gone, we haven't gotten rid of the sex trafficking. All the sex traffickers are just homeless walking up and down Fulton Industrial. So there are some candidates for Fulton County Commissioner in the room. You may want to talk with them and ask them what their plan is. Health, welfare, human services, all of those things are handled by the county. And you may want to talk with some of them to see what their plans are. What we can put in their place, particularly on Fulton Industrial Boulevard, again, if you look at my future land use plan proposals, are creating, similar to West Midtown, if any of you have been to Putt Shack or any of the places around the Beltline, and you've seen some of the things that are being developed, if you've been to a restaurant where the garage doors can open up and they have this beautiful inside, outside sort of space, that's not allowed under our zoning code. You can't do that anywhere in South Fulton. A lot of millennials want to move to, high rises and condos and things like that. It's not allowed in our code to build anything over 4 stories. Right now on Fulton Industrial Boulevard, there is a couple that owns a wine processing plant. They want to be able to open the room up for wine tastings and have things like beer gardens and things we see in other places. That's not allowed in our zoning code. So we really need to be looking, after we do this future land use plan, at creating a zoning code that matches the 21st century. Thank you for that, your comments, questions.
Ray Mills.
So those shady hotels that you are probably referring to do sit in the city of College Park, but it still affects the city of South Fulton. Many of you may not know, but one of the largest sex trafficking streets is located in our city, which is Old National Highway. Yep, in America, it's right here, unfortunately. Me having a school off Old National Highway, I've seen firsthand women being sex trafficked because some of their kids go to my school. So I don't think the answer is more policing. We need to help them. We need to help them. We don't need to beef up police or anything like that. We need to create programs inside of this city to help these young ladies. Because a lot of these young ladies don't have anywhere to turn to outside of the pimp. They ain't got nowhere to go. as a city that is affected by sex trafficking, I would like to put some of our resources into programs of helping these young ladies, because you have no idea. I've seen 16, 17, 18-year-old girls come try to enroll their kids with their pimps in my school. That's real life. I've seen it for myself. So the answer is not more policing. The answer isn't necessarily, let's just tear down the hotels. What happens? We tear them down. The humans are still human. Like I said, I'm bringing common sense back to South Fulton, y'all. The common sense says, now what? You think that they're just gonna stop being sex trafficked because the hotels are gone? Or we don't supposed to care no more because they're away from us? Nah, let's help them. Let's be a city of help. And it's gonna take all of us together to help. Thank you, sorry.
Joseph Anieme.
Thank you very much. The first step to progress is to take action, not denial. We cannot deny things that people have seen with their own eyes, right? Whoever wrote that question down has a reason to do that. So, of what use is a law that is not adequately enforced? We have to, first of all, enforce our local laws. The last time I checked, prostitution is illegal in Georgia State, and we have police, right? While I agree with Ray that it's not every time that more policing will solve issues, I agree for rehabilitation programs, but the first thing is to take a stand that we as a city are against this, so we have to enforce our laws. Those ordinances, those laws that we have locally have to be enforced first, not denying that they exist. We have that problem, we do have it. We just have to make sure we have the political will to focus on it. And it starts with us collaborating. Earlier, I mentioned how we cannot move forward in this city without working with our partners in South Fulton, Union City, College Park, and the rest. When we don't want something, we have to make sure they also say no to it. Because now there's a confusion as to, is it City of South Fulton? Is it College Park? Even though it's on the same stretch of road. So collaboration is key to make sure that we move forward in this city. Thank you.
Mark Baker.
So I may be the only person up here that has this experience. About 25 years ago, I was sergeant of Clark Atlanta's police department. I spent my last 10 years in law enforcement in Fulton County schools as a resource officer. I heard some people kind of deny the reality of, the true reality of the question. And I like, Joe, when you said, you can't deny it. The reality of it is, it does exist. College Park, we share a border. Fulton Industrial, with Fulton County, we share a border. I think that there are certain things that can be done through ordinances. But as a council member and a former law enforcement officer, when I was on council, I moved forward a beat study. The beat study actually hadn't been done since 1970, which means if your home wasn't in the city of South Fulton in 1970, the police were not patrolling your area the way they should be because of your home not being there. There are things in place right now that we could even tap our code enforcement board to do to rid ourselves of those types of establishment that breed those elements, like enforcing them to repaint their lines, those hotels. If you have to have fresh lines and our code enforcement is on your head every time, they're gonna start doing it, they're gonna get tired, they're gonna get overbilled, and then they're gonna either make sure that they clean their place up or they're gonna leave. There's several things and several ways of approaching that. I think at the same time, I'm proud to say, again, I talked about deliverables and tangibles. In District 7, I had the actual honor of cutting the ribbon of the first hotel in the city of South Fulton. It was Courtyard Marriott. And since I've been gone, the other two, it took a little longer, but they were coming anyway. So I think that South Fulton, we have to actually share our borders and work well and use what we already have in place and not reinvent the wheel. Thank you.
Calvin Davis.
I think that's a really loaded question. I definitely have to agree with Mr. Mills. We have a 92% black city. I'm not a strong proponent of increasing policing within our city. I think our police force does a phenomenal job at protecting us and serving us. So in regards to that, I think we have to understand the science behind the question. I don't think that sex trafficking and all of that, it's such a straightforward answer. I think that there's different circumstances that contribute to these particular instances. With that, I think that we have to understand that a lot of these people are our neighbors. A lot of these people have children that are the peers of our kids. So, I don't think the first thing we should do is prosecute or enforce more policing, because that's what they do to our communities. With the drug epidemic, it's more policing. With their drug epidemics, it's more counseling, more resources. So I think we should, understand the science in regards to the city of South Fulton and its trafficking problems. I think we need more resources for the mothers, the children. We need to offer up, more mobility and affordability within the city of South Fulton for them, because what they're experiencing is a hardship. It's not trafficking, that's a hardship. I think we need to understand the difference. I think there's also sex trafficking that's going on in the city of South Fulton, and I think those are more so businesses. I think we need to tap into code and ordinances and our police force to upskill and train them to be able to recognize businesses that are behaving maliciously, but I think we need to understand the science behind it all and offer up resources more so than just, enforcing stronger policing measures within our community. I think we have a strong law enforcement infrastructure and we're in really good shape. Thanks.
Bill Edwards, I will let you close out with the final answer for this question.
Thank you, Deidre. Listen, I think we got to get past the fluff and get to the truth. So what is the truth? We have laws that protect us. But do we have the people to enforce the laws that protect us? Right now, ladies and gentlemen, you're running a police department without a chief in charge. The morale is low. People are leaving the department. Why do I say all of this? Had we put attention where we're supposed to put attention, then they could have had the resources to make sure that the things you're talking about now is not happening. We made reference to Catherine Riles, and she's got it's only one building on Fulton Industrial Boulevard that meets that test right now. So you can talk about you went to the police academy and all that, but when you talk about the beats, yes, we increased the beats, but ask the question, did we have the manpower to power the beats that we increased? That is the question. So a lot of stuff sounds good right here, up here, but I talked to you earlier about sustainability. If we don't get this police department together, then we're not going to be able to sustain what we got now in terms of protection to the citizens of our community.
Thank you. And this concludes our first round of questions. We are going to now pause for a 10-minute break. Our program will resume in 10 minutes. Thank you.
Check, check.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we ask at this time that you begin to make your way back to your seats. Candidates, please make your way back to the stage. Our program will resume in 90 seconds. Again, ladies and gentlemen, please make your way back to your seats. Candidates, please make your way back to the stage. Our program will resume in 1 minute and 16 seconds. Thank you. At this time, we will resume our program, our forum, and we have taken so many questions from this audience. This is a great problem to have, that we are actually going to begin this session as a rapid fire session. So each of you will get one question from this very big stack of questions that I have received from those in the audience and those online. So Mr. Adeyemi, we will begin with you. The question, and these are all audience questions. Since the founding of the city, we have had a number of warehouses open. Given the health impact associated with warehouses, what plans do you have to ensure we are environmentally safe?
Thank you so much. Our city has seen far too many warehouses pop up with little regard to traffic, noise, and the impact to our neighborhoods. So as mayor, I'll put residents first by pushing for a pause on new warehouse approvals until we update our zoning and land use plans to reflect the community's long-term vision. And that's why we need to let the community speak. I'll work with council to strengthen those zoning laws and require community input before major development. We also need to prioritize businesses that create higher paying jobs and add value to our city, not just take up space. That's all warehouses do. They have that illusion of adding to your tax base, but they hire less than 10 people to run it. South Fulton deserves a balanced growth, smart development that protects our family. We need to be able to attract the right kind of investment, and it starts at the top. We have to work together as council to take a stand against warehouses, because Georgia, as a state, is welcoming warehouses. Like, hey, bring the money. But as a city, we have to take a stand. And that's how it's important for us to make sure we work together to be able to come up with a solution through zoning laws with community input. Thank you.
Our next question is for Mark Baker. Are there any transportation plans to better connect the length of the street for Campbellton Road and Camp Creek Parkway? Are there any visions to bring alternative grocery stores like Aldi to Sprouts? And since we realize that you are not a sitting council member, you are running for mayor, perhaps this question should be rather, what is your vision, if elected, to connect the length of Campbellton Road and Camp Creek Parkway, and how you might bring the Aldis and the Whole Foods and the Sprouts to this community?
Yes, two-part question. The first part, I believe, is already in play. If we're watching the council meetings, we know that the sidewalks are on its way. I think that more importantly, though, there's some historical knowledge for that area that I don't know if anybody has ever brought to the constituency of that area. The Camp Creek Marketplace has been in place for several years because a family, one family owned all of that property, the majority of that property that goes all the way down there. Now, they thought that it would continue from our part of the city further down, but nobody has actually reached to this family since, I believe, 2020. Our city manager, Odie Dono, at that time, we had a meeting with the family to see when they wanted to potentially work with us as a city to move and share or actually amplify plans with the city. That conversation completely halted. I would love to bring that back. I still have their information. If you're familiar with the Van Diver community in District 2, they're familiar, and there's conversations that I can actually restart myself because I was personally involved in it. So hopefully, as mayor, representing the city, that's something that we can do because they own the majority of that property going down. So we had several different plans. I had a plan to bring an Epic Center type of development, like in Charlotte, right over there, to that corridor, because we currently only have two major business corridors, of course, Old National and Fulton Industrial, and our end of Camp Creek hasn't been amplified or hasn't been redeveloped since the city has started. So, I mean, part of it is infrastructure, but the other part too is the relationships and bringing people together who actually can make those decisions and make those things come to fruition. And I'm that person.
Thank you. Kelvin Davis, this next question directed to you. Several parts of our city are dark. What plans would you have to install more lights to enhance public safety?
I think lighting is one of the biggest infrastructure improvements that we can make to our city. I have a citywide initiative that I would like to bring to the city of South Fulton for lighting on, for the parks, for the streets, for our plazas, essentially throughout our city. I think it's important to light our entire city, but I also think it's important to consider what our city is, and that is a hybrid natural green space, meaning that we have some of the most lush green spaces in Georgia. So I want to be clear about lighting and how it affects our green spaces and our natural corridors. So I think that we should do a citywide assessment on all of the lightings here within the city of South Fulton and introduce more lighting initiatives that bring about more lighting throughout, but also reduces the light pollution throughout the city. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with light pollution, but I really think that the city of South Fulton and its neighbors, Chattahoochee Hills, Palmetto, Lithia Springs, we all have a unique opportunity to bring forth a truly hybrid natural city. And with that, we can introduce smart lighting across the city that illuminates all of the housing, all of the businesses, all of the parks, but also keeps our skyline clear. And I know that may be something, some people may not be aware of, but we have a lot of light pollution within the city from the metropolitan areas and the airport and all of that, but I think that we can actually improve lighting throughout the city and reduce the lighting pollution within the city of South Fulton and create natural attractions for people, to want to come to the city of South Fulton and, be inspired by.
Thank you. We also had several questions that are directed to specific candidates, and in the interest of time, we're going to make sure we include those in this discussion this evening. Bill Edwards, what happened during your first term that voters decided not to re-elect you for a second term as mayor?
Thank you for that question. I can remember being told after not being elected mayor the first time, a voter who did not vote for me, he said, I did not vote because I thought we needed a change. My response to that was, how did it work out for you? So that's what I got. They were looking for a change. And we would have been farther along because it would have been my legacy term. If you go back and look at my term, and I go back and look at the facts, what we did the first 4 years, when we had $80 million worth of debt and wound up with $75 million to the good when I left. We onboarded 500 people into our city. And here's the most important part. When it comes to financial responsibility, we won a state award for our financial responsibility, and we won a state award for our human resources. So that's the word I got from people. And I just simply say, ask the question, how did that work out for you?
Carmelita Gums, what are you going to do differently than what you've done in the last 6 years?
It's been 8. The city has been started since 2017. What am I going to do differently is that I'm going to focus on making sure that we really turn the city around. We change the narrative of what we've been doing, and we have the right leadership. Again, we need to continue to make sure that we're focusing on the main thing, which is strengthening our public safety, which is improving our economic development, and keeping our name and changing what we have done in the past. You need real leadership, and that is what I continue to plan to do. I've done a good job representing the city because just because you're elected as a district representative, you do represent the entire city. I've done a good job. I am committed, I've been responsive, and I want to make sure that that type of leadership goes across the city halls, and that is what I look forward to doing as the next mayor.
Our next question for Jewel Johnson. As you know, council meetings are long and many times combative. As mayor, how will you control the meetings, shorten the meetings, and do you agree with open comments?
Thank you for that question. That's a very good question because we end up sometimes to 12 and 1 o'clock at night. And it is the mayor's responsibility to pull together the agenda. And one of the things that I would do was make sure that I work with the council and the staff to make sure that they have a deadline to meet in order for me to get everything that needs to be on that agenda and time it. And I can do that because as a nurse and work emergency, everything is priority 1, priority 2, priority 3. And this is the way I will run it. That will be priorities 1, 2, 3, and 4 that the staff and council has to do in order for me to get everything on the agenda and have it timed. That's exactly what I would do and make sure that we're working together on this and not put it all off on one party. Because in order to cut that with all the things that we have to deal with, listen, it's going to take us working together, and believe me, we will do that.
The next question is for Khalid Kamau. Mayor Kobe, what 3 things will you do differently if reelected?
You know, I don't know. I think that I've done the best that I could do with the resources that I had. I would ask for our charter to be changed. I think that a lot of the issues that we have are inherent in the city's charter. I think that we've done a great job as a city. People are saying that we haven't, but you know, we have a $425 million budget, and we did that while cutting taxes. A lot of my answer to that question is really a question for the citizens. Let me say that. What will you do differently, right? As mayor, the charter says that I'm the CEO of the city, but I can't hire or fire anybody. That's why 3 years ago, when I called out corruption in the police department, I wasn't able to fire our police chief. He's still not fired. Council has put him on paid administrative leave for $18,000 a month. And our city manager has hired a public safety director. So we now have 2 chiefs. He makes $25,000 a month. That's $40,000 a month, $500,000 a year. But we have a council manager form of government, and those are the decisions that our council and manager have made. I am going to continue telling you the truth about what is happening in our council meetings. You're hearing a lot of things about people saying that they're going to do these plans and these things, but we're actually already doing them. I think that people don't know that because they haven't taken the time to watch the council meetings. If you don't have the time to watch the council meetings, you probably don't have the time to be the mayor. This job only pays $48,000 a year, and one of the reasons that I have been so in tune with citizens is because this is my only job. I wouldn't have to quit a job or balance a job to do the job that I've been doing now. And so I really am just going to continue being the mayor that I have always been, and that's my answer.
Our next question for Ray Mills. What more do you offer this city other than common sense?
Well, that's a start. Well, oh, wow, don't start the clock yet. Don't start the clock yet. That's a good one, whoever did that one. Leadership. I've been leading a very long time, although I look young. That's because I eat well and work out, but I'm 40 years old, okay? Leadership is what I can offer this city. And what I mean by that is, it's not about political leadership. It's not about which degree you have to make you a great leader. Leaders are made on the field. I can stand before you and tell you I've failed way more times than I done won in life. And each time I failed, I've gotten back up better. That's how you lead. You don't lead sitting behind a desk. You don't lead sitting in a classroom. You lead, you learn leadership skills on the field. Like I told you all before, I've had trouble in my past as a young man. That trouble that I got in as a young man helped me become the man I am today. I was adopted by my grandparents, knowing who my parents was. Now, a lot of you can't relate to that, but that is a traumatic experience to know who your parents is and to think that they don't want you. But guess what? That made me the man I am today. Leaders are made on the field through trials and tribulations, not sitting behind a desk or in a classroom getting PhDs and all this other stuff. I've been tested. I've been tried. And I done won. Check the portfolio. I'm supposed to be a statistic according to America, but God got me here today. That's what leaderships are. That's what leadership is. I'm out of time. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question is for Joseph Adeyemi. Several residents of South Fulton continue to be victimized by crime of car thefts and break-ins. What do you intend to do to work with the City of South Fulton Police to tackle these crimes? What new ways do you plan to rectify this?
Thank you. It ties back to safety, people feeling safe in their own homes. But safety takes both accountability and prevention. So while I support strengthening police-community partnership and investment in technology, data-driven patrols, the truth is we cannot arrest our way out of crime. So I will expand youth in workforce programs. I want to be able to prove to people that stopping crime starts with getting people busy, and idle hand is the devil's workshop. So I will facilitate trade schools and boot camps to help our young people become skillful, to be able to become gainfully employed when we bring the businesses here. Because families deserve both protection today and prevention tomorrow. So while I'm supporting the police, I also want to make sure we are addressing it from the root cause, which is getting young people engaged. We need to engage our young people. There are boot camps right now that I'm running that in 6 weeks you can start earning $80,000. Those are the kind of opportunities I'm bringing to this city where we can engage our young people. Not everybody will go to college, and that's okay. We have trade schools that I'm bringing in here that will start training people. We don't even need the city's money. There are grants that we can tap into to sponsor these kids. Those are the things that I want to bring to the table as your mayor, to make sure that our young people are ready for the type of companies, the type of jobs that I'm bringing here. They will be ready when those companies come here to be able to work with them. This city will become a hub in the entire state for companies to come in here and hire our young people. Thank you.
Our next question is for Mark Baker. Dr. Baker, when serving on city council, you led a divisive effort to remove 2 colleagues that created foolishness and a punchline. How can residents trust you to unify versus divide?
Can you repeat the first part of the question?
When serving on city council, you led a divisive effort to remove 2 colleagues that created foolishness and a punchline. How can residents trust you to unify versus divide?
I will always stand up for the truth. If you elect me, you're going to get that. If you don't elect me, you're still going to get that. I'm going to be consistently myself. The latter part of that question, I can answer. The first part is just simply untrue. The reality of it is we had a development that came to our city where they wanted by name our new development authority to give them an incentive, and it came through our employee. That information actually went to a councilwoman and our mayor at the time, and they took that information to Fulton County's Development Authority. It was treasonous. When it goes to Fulton County's Development Authority, the incentives, the money that comes from that property can go anywhere in Fulton County, which means not necessarily South Fulton County or the city of South Fulton, mostly North Fulton County. So when we created a development authority for our city, everything was supposed to work for our city. So for myself and the other 5 members of council who voted for an investigation and there was a removal hearing that nobody was exonerated from, I know we have short memories, but nobody was exonerated from, we just simply stopped. Just stopped to move the city forward. So there wasn't leadership. 5 people is a super majority. I yield.
Kelvin Davis, this next question to you. What intentional procedures would you implement in order to minimize and ultimately prevent the unprofessionalism that has become synonymous with the City of South Fulton governing body?
Well, I think intentional procedures, I think that would be a question that, I would have to look more into. I think the City of South Fulton has a lot of procedures. I've read them in depth, and I think the procedures work. But again, those are just procedural controls, meaning that they're on paper. So in order for those procedures to work, the people have to follow the procedures. And I think we have to introduce measures that actually audit the people within City Hall and how they follow the procedures. As a federal enterprise architect and consultant, I build these type of systems for the federal government. I built them for the Pentagon. I built them for NSA, the Air Force, the Navy. My job is to fix broken systems. That's what I do for a living. And if you see my LinkedIn, my resume actually backs up all of my statements. So in regards to that, I think that we don't need more policy. We don't need more procedures, because that's just going to give, our leaders more opportunity to break them. I think that we need more transparency into the procedures. We need policies and procedures and dashboards that allow the residents to see monthly how the city is behaving, what activities are taking place within City Hall, what spending is taking place, what travel is pending, what travel has been completed, what's the travel report, why, what value did those travel itineraries bring back to the city. So I think just creating a digital City Hall that allows residents to see what's going on within the city without going to the council meetings is the way forward, because I feel as though our leaders use the council meetings as a way to essentially justify why residents are unaware, and that's my plan.
The next question to Bill Edwards. You were commissioner and mayor when 3 developers were able to build poor quality homes in my neighborhood. The neighborhood is not specified. There was not adequate infrastructure nor inspections done. How will you hold developers accountable now versus then?
Not knowing what you're talking about, what development you're talking about, I don't recall. But when anybody comes to this community, we have policies in effect already. Once again, it's about enforcing the policies that we do have. Inspection is pivotal. If you all can remember, you all may not remember, but there was a house built in South Fulton that did not meet the codes, and the house was completely built. I had that house torn completely down because it did not measure up to the code. So I will continue to make sure that we're properly inspecting, that people are building based on the codes that we have, so we can make it an easier life for those who want to come in to our community.
The next question is for Carmelita Gums. As a current council member, you've consistently supported the current administration and its decisions, many of which have contributed to the challenges South Fulton is now facing, including public safety concerns, budget mismanagement, or lack of transparency. How do you justify your bid for mayor when you've played an active role in leadership that many residents feel has failed them?
Well, first, I apologize for that person that asked that question. I honestly feel like we have done a better job of making sure that we're communicating effectively. A lot of our decisions are aligned with data or information that was shared that maybe not most of them they have access to. But my goal is to make sure that we're making the best decisions across the city for those type of decisions, especially around public safety. We knew that there was something that was happening within our police department, and we asked for the data to make sure that that happened. So that's why we went out and placed our chief on administrative leave and bringing someone in to make sure that we get those recommendations and the things that we need to move the city forward. But again, I am supportive of the residents. I listen, but I do have, in times you have to make uncomfortable decisions, but those decisions are followed by data and information that is probably a lot of the citizens don't have. But I am making the best decision for the city of South Fulton, and I can go to sleep at night knowing that I've made that best decision.
Jewel Johnson, how will you work to keep us informed of what is going on in neighboring cities? We have issues affecting our neighborhood that we were not informed of.
Well, a lot of that is going to be able to converse with other cities. Like last night I was invited to some things that was happening in the city of Atlanta. And there was a lot of issues that was transformed with the citizens there. I have a connection with just about every city in South Fulton. For the mere fact, I have been going around talking to all the people and the leaders there about the things that are happening to us. Right now, we're not living in normal times. And I will be able to do that because I have a relationship. I have built a relationship with people. And it will be an easier thing for me to do because I'm already there. And I've been doing it all the while. So it's nothing new for me to continue doing what I've already been doing. And all I want is for the citizens to join me, because your elected officials are merely employees of you. And that's the reason I have asked every citizen of the city of South Fulton to join my transition team, because you can help me do that, because you will know everything that we are doing that you can know legally.
Khalid Kamal. Mayor Kamal, I understand that we all make mistakes. Given the fiscal challenges that marked your first term, how do you plan to ensure that the same financial missteps are not repeated if granted a second opportunity to lead? What would you say to those who question why they should trust that this time will be different?
Ooh, these questions are shady. First of all, I don't think that there was financial mismanagement in my administration. Right now, we are on the verge of a $100 million bond offering at 4% interest. If we were so poorly managing, and without touching our millage rate cap, even though we were advised that we would have to, and gave someone $1 million to give us that advice, if we were mismanaging the funds, then that wouldn't happen. There is currently a $10,000 lawsuit against me that will probably fail because it is politically motivated. That was done with a $68,000 forensic audit of only my card, right? So people, the same people who are saying, oh, we've got to turn the page and get off the news, just have to stop suing their colleagues on council and then calling the news about it. So I don't think there have been financial missteps. I wish I could give you a site, but I can't. You can Google to see all of my receipts and the results of the trips that have been taken. Here is the thing. Especially those of you in districts 2, 4, and 6, you have a unique opportunity to elect a council and a mayor that are politically aligned. I wish everyone had that opportunity. One of the charter changes I'm proposing is that the entire mayor and council are up at the same time once every 4 years instead of having elections every other year and bouncing back and forth. You can't wholesale just throw out the baby with the bathwater and replace all the council people with brand new folks who don't have experience and think that they'll just get along because they don't know each other. You need to pick a mayor and council that are politically aligned, whatever that means for you. I beg you to take the time and watch one full city council meeting, not a 60-second news story, but a 6-hour council meeting if you can make it through, and see if the things that I'm saying make sense to you.
Ray Mills, what procedures will be implemented and or reinforced to prevent the mismanagement or the perception of mismanagement of funds? Perception is often reality.
Yes, it is. So a few years ago in my company, we had funds being mismanaged by someone within the company. We had an audit. It was simple. The audit found out exactly who mismanaged money. Now, let's fast forward to government. I would propose quarterly audits. We can afford it. I live by this thing where what's in the dark will come to light. If we shine a light on it, it's two things going to happen. We're either going to catch who's mismanaging the money, or they're going to straighten up and not mismanage the money. It goes back to that common sense. Goes right back to the common sense part. We have to start putting things in place. Don't make it more difficult than what it really is. It's simple. If you got P cards, it need the proper limitations, it need the proper approvals. It don't need to be worked on the buddy-buddy system that if I like you, I'll let you get away with this, and if I don't like you, then I'm gonna drop the hammer on you. No. Let's put it, documentation beats conversation. Let's put it in black and white. Let's stick to it. Let's have quarterly audits that involve the people, not just at a meeting Again, I want to create an app for this city. In that app, each and every one of us that's elected have our own tab. On that tab, it shows our real-time spending expenses, just like on your debit card. When you swipe your debit card, within minutes, it's on there, right? We can do that here. I want to think forward, not backward. It's time to turn the page. Again, we're not going to complicate it. Let's make it simple. The transparency between the people that elected you and us. That's how I would do it, through the app. Thank you.
Next question is for Joseph Adeyemi. The bridge on Butner Road near Camp Creek was built in 1944, according to its marker, and is crumbling. It is over a dangerous body of water. Whoever may be elected, is improving structures like these part of your platform?
Yes. The simple answer is yes. However, we may need to collaborate in order to get it done, because as has been mentioned here already, what the mayor can and cannot do. But I'm willing to collaborate with whomever we need to collaborate with, be it Fulton County, be it GDOT that we need to bring to the table. And that's why it's important for us to cultivate meaningful relationships, so that when we need help, when we need assistance, these people can come to our aid and work with us. But if we have positioned ourselves in a manner that they don't want to work with us, that is where we run into issues where the community, they're asking us for things, and our response is, it's not within our scope. I don't think that's how a leader should respond. I think as a leader, even if it's within your scope, it's on you as mayor of this city and council to collaborate with any organization that has to make that thing happen for the people. So I'm willing to continue the existing relationship that I've cultivated outside of this city, within Georgia, and within the country as a whole, Congress, US Senate, anywhere we have to go to get what we need, I am willing to do that. Thank you.
Our question for Mark Baker. What are you going to do to bring down real estate tax for all, and especially for our seniors?
I think, good question. Thank you for that, because my mom is a senior, and she just got on top of her homestead exemption, and a lot of seniors don't even know about that, which is one of the first 101s that could be saving you a whole lot of money. But when it comes to real estate, I think that, as I said earlier, when I started with the Development Authority, I served 2 terms as chairman. I learned a lot about a lot of the real estate that's coming and targeting our city. South Fulton is the #1 place in America for data centers, not just in Georgia, but in America. And when our governor vetoed that act in February, it put us in a real bad situation. But I think that we have to be visionaries and we have to be forward thinking in order to deal with the situations that fall in our lap, right? So when you're looking at the data center situations, right, I said one thing, we could make them go green, right? When it comes to warehouses, we could say we have to do that. But another thing is, when it comes to the way that they are on real estate, they're viewed as customers to us as a city, but tenants when they're a data center. And what we can do is actually charge each tenant, which could be just a place, a small place, IBM, who rents through that data center. We can charge them that space just like any other business. And if we make that process a little bit more expensive on their end, they'll stop looking at us like we're easy money. Because if we charge all of them for space because they're tenants, and we put each business through the process that it takes to actually start a business in our city, these are things that we can legislate our way out of. These are problems, like real effective solutions that we can legislate our way of just by making those things an ordinance and more difficult for those people to actually move forward with.
Calvin Davis, do you support a third-party independent investigation of the police department or just an operational review? Why or why not?
I think that the first part is to answer the question. Yes, I do support a third-party investigation of the police department, and that's because I support a forensic audit on City Hall as well, and that's more so because if I'm elected, I would like to come into the office knowing exactly what I'm up against, and I would like for the resident of the city of South Fulton to know exactly what has been happening, because that's key for me to do my job correctly and to empower my council to do their job correctly as well. So in regards to the police department, I think that we have to investigate with the third party because we do have, I would say, one of the best police forces in the state of Georgia. I've been here since cityhood for the last 8 years, and I have yet to have a negative experience with our police. So, I'm very fond of our officers in blue, but I think that our leadership of our police department does need some examining. And if we need to change leaderships based on the findings of a third-party investigation, I think that it would be the responsible thing for us to do. So in regards to supporting a third-party investigation, I support. In regards to supporting a forensic investigation of the entire City Hall, I support, and I think that every incumbent and every candidate should support it as well, because that gives the trust back to the residents and the City Hall, and that's my stance.
Our next question to Bill Edwards. What is your comprehensive plan to improve the overall health and wellness of the residents of the City of South Fulton, including strategies to reduce health disparities, promote preventive care, and create access to essential health services? This is a two-part question. How do you plan to establish a full-service hospital or that adequately serves the citizens of our growing community?
Thank you. Let me do the second one first, okay, G?
Of course.
The reason why we don't have, the reason why they say we don't have a full-service hospital, because we cannot get what is called a certificate of need, which simply says, I'll come, you just tell me why I need to come. Well, it's very simple. People getting sick. We have been fighting that for a long time. So, but we have a hospital coming over in the area, some sort of hospital anyway, in Union City, that will kind of help us to get through a little bit until we get something that we need. We do need a hospital. We do need a hospital. Let me try to answer a little bit of the first part of your question. A lot of stuff is coming down from the federal government that we used to have, we ain't getting no more. And it's important that we make sure that in our budget that we put something away for those people, especially in seniors, in terms of health disparity. It's all right to build stuff, but it's always good to hold up and take care of your people too. So we need to have that. We need to have insurance companies who are going to come here, going to be a part of doing business, especially for our elders, and doing it in a way that they can afford it. So those are the things that we have to do to promote good health. And health is important to all of us. Thank you.
The next question for Councilwoman Gumbs. How can we trust that your allegiance will be to the constituents and not builders and contractors as it has been in the past?
Oh, that's a very loaded question. I will tell you, there is a narrative that has been placed out there by, of course, people that are actually running to be mayor. But I will tell you that I have been committed to the residents in the city in reference to what their needs are. I have been very vocal about it, and I have worked very diligently with the residents in reference to plan development that has come to our district. And I will continue to work very closely in reference to that, to anything that is coming to our city. So again, it is about trust, but I feel like I have been very trustworthy in reference to developers, having conversations with the residents, and they even coming to meetings with me in reference to what people are wanting to bring to our city. But again, I will follow the comprehensive plan. I will make sure that, and one of the things that we're going through now is that you hear a lot of turmoil of people because we're going through a rezoning process, because a lot of the land that is in South Fulton is agriculture. So people are coming to the city to change their zoning. I will continue to do what I need to do as a leader and work very closely with the residents to get the things that we need and desire here in the city of South Fulton. It's not about me, it is about these people here and what we need to lower our tax base and to make sure that we have the things that we need and desire in South Fulton so we don't have to travel up north or Douglasville or anywhere else, and we can do our business right here in the city of South Fulton. So that's what I will continue to do.
Thank you. Jewel Johnson. The major concern seems to be related to bringing new employees and business to the city of South Fulton. What do you plan to do to address education of our youth so that we have competent and educated workers who can afford to fill positions and have money to spend on the businesses?
Well, one of the main things that I would do, as I've said before, and that is invite all the citizens to join my transition team, because then they will know, they will be engaged. This is an opportunity to be engaged. We will be creating opportunities for our youth, for our seniors, and making it happen for them, because right now, we do have quite a few little things that we are doing for our seniors, but there are so many, many other things that we can do. We need to look at the fact that a lot of them do not receive enough funds on a monthly basis in order to even handle their medicine, let alone their food. But those are opportunities right there, and you look at the housing situation as we look at our young people. One of the things that I want to do is to deal with our companies, the ones that are in the city and the ones that's out of the city, where they will also create opportunities for our young people to be able to learn, whether it be Coca-Cola, whether it be IBM, or whomever. But there is a lot of opportunities that we can work with, and especially as the mayor, because I intend to have town hall meetings in all 7 districts in the hopes of pulling together the whole city, so we won't be looking like 7 little bitty cities within a huge city. So I just ask the people to please think twice, vet their candidates, and make sure they vet me before they go vote.
Our next question is for Khalid Kamal. Mayor Kamal, the city's independent audit found over $100,000 in your spending over 2 years, including more than 20 international trips and other expenses without proper documentation. How do you justify these expenditures in terms of benefits to South Fulton residents, and what steps will you take to restore public confidence?
First of all, people are misquoting the audit. I did not take 20 international trips. I went to about 4 countries. Let me tell you how they're counting the trips. If you fly to Rwanda, you fly through Amsterdam. So they're counting Atlanta to Amsterdam, Amsterdam to Rwanda, Rwanda to Amsterdam, and then Amsterdam back to Atlanta as 4 trips. Some of those $100,000 worth of trips, and it wasn't $100,000, it was $70,000, included domestic trips, like to the Port of Savannah, where we helped a cold storage owner on Fulton Industrial Boulevard get his things out of customs, because the Port of Savannah is one of the only ports in the country that actually has customs agents on site, and to grow his business through trade with countries like Ghana and countries like Colombia, which I visited. So these trips are already paying dividends for the city. What the independent audit did show was that out of the 76 P cards that are issued to the city, 30% of the charges were made by council. but only one council person was audited, even though 100 people signed a petition saying that they wanted everybody audited. There's been criticism of this audit has criticized the decoration of my audits. There's my office. There's currently a $10,000 lawsuit to get back $5,000 of office decorations in the mayor's office, even though city council approved $500,000 of renovations throughout City Hall, right? So we just need to stop suing each other just because we don't like what someone else does. Because you cannot make one of us look bad without making all of us look bad. Which is why it is so important to vote for a mayor and council that are politically aligned. Please do your research, or you will end up with a misaligned council that, just like Congress, doesn't get anything done.
And Ray Mills, you will have our last question of the evening before we proceed to closing statements. The question for you: what impact do you feel the data centers being built in South Fulton will have on the city?
Hello? Okay. It's tacky. Quite simple. It's tacky to have that big monstrous piece of concrete in somebody's backyard. Or you got to pass it to go to the grocery store or back and forth to work. Again, I'm against it. I understand that that is a revenue draw to the city, but we have to have individuals in office and to lead this city that really understands revenue. It is more than one way to get revenue outside of data centers, people. Just want to let you all know. But if that's all that's coming to your front door, then usually that's all you know. Because again, you're not educated on economics and how to even draw revenue into a city. So again, financial literacy, financial background is very, very important if you're going to lead a city in any type of capacity. With me as leader, we're going up. We're not going down. We're not going to be selling each other out. We're not going to be arguing, fussing, fighting. The data center has been a big fight as long as we've been a city. Point blank, period. No more data centers. Not only are they tacky and ugly, they're harmful to our health. What y'all think data come from? These phones, everything is what? Through the air. Those are sound waves. It gets into our water supply. It gets into our food supply. We got to start looking at the data in this city. I see what's going on with our kids. It's more autistic kids now than ever in this community. Nobody's asking why. Nobody's asking why do they keep targeting us in the South area for these data centers. It's deeper than just approving or denying it or revenue. It's about quality of life. We got to elect people that care about the quality of life more than a little bit of revenue. They don't allow that up in North Atlanta. Ain't no big, monstrous, tacky data center going to be in nobody's backyard up there off Roswell Road.
On that note, this ends our Q&A session. At this time, we will now proceed to closing statements, and each candidate will have 2 minutes to deliver their closing statement. We'll begin with Joseph Adeyemi.
Cut my own. First, let me thank each and every one of you for being here tonight. Your presence, your energy, and your commitment to our great city inspire me every day. It's been 5 months since I've been knocking on your doors. Thank you for your overwhelming support. Now, this is a crucial election, so don't let anyone play on your intelligence. Let me reiterate so you don't forget. In this city, we have a strong council, weak mayor form of government. So if you're in office and you couldn't collaborate, you couldn't work with one another to deliver for the people, you won't magically do it if you win this election. Because it's obvious you lack the necessary skills to lead. These are not skills you can learn overnight because you've suddenly won an election. Another thing that you have not seen here tonight from those in office is accountability. You've heard deniers, you've heard excuses. Collaboration, inspiration, and results-driven leadership are exactly what I deliver every day as a project manager. So brothers and sisters, we cannot go back. We can't keep doing things the same way by the same people and expect a different result. I know you want change because you love this city. So Joseph Adeyemi is the #1 on the ballot. Tell your friends, tell your family members, tell everyone that the change that you seek, that common sense governance that you've been looking for, is now the #1 name on the ballot, Joseph Adeyemi. Do not forget. Thank you very much.
Mark Baker.
Yeah, I don't have a closing statement. I almost memorized Joseph's, though. But I just want to say thank you so much for allowing me to come and share with you guys. I ask that you just consider things. Carter G. Woodson, the Honorable Carter G. Woodson, said that there's two types of knowledges. One that's given to you and the other you acquire on your own. And of the two, the latter is the greater. I ask that you just vet me, that you just, actually vet and just look at some of the work that I've done on city council. I'll give you a couple. Abolish Columbus Day, decriminalize cannabis, raise the minimum wage, ban the box for convicted felons, activated the Development Authority, activated the Urban Redevelopment Authority, passed a resolution regarding the 5G towers, made Juneteenth a holiday before the federal government did it. The only one out of 535 municipalities is to end no-knock warrants under Breonna Taylor's law. Investor harassment ordinance, #8can'twait, ending police chokeholds and duty to intervene. The Central Park 5 legislation with the exonerated 5, Yusuf Salam, who actually now is a Harlem councilman, work with him to pass that. The Crown Act, so you won't be discriminated against your natural hair in the city of South Fulton. Resolutions condemning our General Assembly when the terroristic attacks of January 6th. And so much more. The first reparations law in the state of Georgia. I did my thing as a council member, and I stopped horrible development from coming here, and I brought good development and smart development, and I have tangible answers, if you were listening, on how we can actually resolve our warehouse issues, our data center issues, tangible actions that we can actually take. And in my leadership, we'll be able to pull that off. And I'm just asking that you consider coming out, District 2, I'll be in District 2, 2 events this week. I can't tell you where it's going to be.
Kelvin Davis.
Thank you guys for coming out. I want to say that I'm very honored to be on the ballot. I'm #3 on the ballot, Kelvin Davis. I was #3 to announce running for the mayoral candidacy. First it was Carmelita Gomes and Bill Edwards and then myself. So I want to be clear that my decision to run has always been from the front. I don't follow, I lead. And I want to be clear that this job does require experience. You can't just come into this job and expect to know what to do within day one. And I do have the experience. I may not have the experience within the city, but I have the experience within the government, within the federal government, and I work with some of the most powerful people. Some of the most powerful people that makes the biggest decisions that affects all of these lands. And these people have huge egos. Huge egos. I want people to be clear about the rooms that I sit in every day and the meetings that I participate in every day. So with that, my experience, you're going to get professionalism. You're always going to get someone that follows the rules. In case you haven't been watching the federal government, we don't have the, I would say, leeway to not follow the rules. So you're going to get that from day one. So I think that, really with electing me, you're going to get a leader that is focused on the future. I love how every candidate has spoken on the past 8 years and all of our failures, as well as our successes. But I think that the most important thing is today and tomorrow. So in regards to vetting these candidates and what they tend to bring to the city of South Fulton, I think you need to focus on their solutions for today and not tomorrow, because the last 8 years issues are not relevant for today. And the city of South Fulton is going to need proactive leadership, we're going to need smart leadership, and we're going to need smart growth. So please check the right ballot on the box for the leadership that's going to serve South Fulton into the future.
Bill Edwards.
Thank you so much. I want to acknowledge Roger Bruce, State Senator Roger Bruce, because he was the father of the legislation that's formed this city. And when he did it, there were rules and regulations that we had to abide by. A lot of times we didn't. You see, ladies and gentlemen, when he wrote that legislation, it told you how much your salary was going to be. You didn't have to accept it. Might have got a job. But it told you what your salary was going to be. If you look up here, everybody's talking about what I'm going to do, what I might have done. If you want to vet something, vet what I've done. I've been your leader since when I was a commissioner. The days when they told me we would never have an amphitheater in South Fulton, I got it. When they told us that we wouldn't bring arts over to South Fulton, we got the Performing Arts Studio. In the days they said our libraries weren't going to be worth nothing, I got Wolf Creek Library. Those are the things that matter. I'm the only person here who has the experience, relationships to get things done for you. So bring me back again. Let's move forward. Let's finish what we started and make South Fulton not the blackest city in America, but the best city in America.
Carmelita Gumbs.
First, I want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. This has been a long 3 hours, but it is worth it for the city of South Fulton. I've learned a lot about the candidates, and I've learned a lot about myself and the patients that we have. Our city is growing by leaps and bounds. Continuity is important. I have been serving consistently for the past 8 years this local government. I have raised my family here, my daughter. I have been here 18 years. It is important that we make sure that we continue to focus on the true needs of the city of South Fulton. That is the infrastructure concerns. We need to make sure that we have smart, supportive growth. We need to continue to strengthen public safety, where we're addressing crime issues and making sure that families feel safe. We need to also make sure that we're focusing on economic development so we're not traveling abroad. These are the things that your leader, as the next mayor, will do to make sure that we're out and we are showing and showcasing that we're the second largest city in Fulton County, as you heard mentioned, most affluent, most educated, and the most of undeveloped land. We have to tout those qualities. And as your leader, that is what I plan to do. I want to also make sure that you understand that there are a lot of things that you've heard in this church tonight. And I don't know where Pastor Parker is, but a lot of lies. Please vet your candidate. Please look at their legislation. You want to make sure that they have passed impactful legislation that has benefited the city of South Fulton. But again, what I am asking for you to do today, this is a job that you just cannot wake up overnight and say, I'm going to do. You have to make sure that there's continuity and someone needs to know how to navigate City Hall. So I'm asking for your support, your vote. When you go to the ballot boxes, everybody's counting down. I'm fifth. I'm fifth on the ballot. I've never been fifth before, but I am fifth on the ballot. And I ask for you to vote for Gumbs. You will need bold, smart leadership, and that is what I will bring to you. Thank you for your time.
Joel Johnson.
First of all, I want to say thank you for putting this on and giving all of us the opportunity to share what it is that we want to do for our city. I bring to the city vision and a perspective that we don't have. And I put together a few little things that came to me that I want to share with you today. And I'm going to read them to you because I wrote them down so I wouldn't forget them. If you believe in truth, standing for something exciting and bigger than yourself, Don't sit out this next election. As a proud president of the city of South Fulton, I strongly stand for truth and believe that I, Jewel Johnson, am the ideal candidate for representing and serving this community with integrity, dedication to push this city of South Fulton forward. And I say to you, this is serious business. We're not living in the same times that we did a year ago. I am the only candidate here that has really done things for the city where you can go and use, touch, and feel. What do all these candidates here bring to you? It's all about being able to deliver. And when you vet me, I'm not asking you to vote for me. I'm asking you to vet me. And I know that when you vet me, you will decide that that is Jewel Johnson. She's the lady, the woman, to lead this city with the people.
Khalid Kamal.
I don't believe in either ors, I believe in both ands. I believe that we can be the blackest city in America and the best city in America. And in fact, we are. Our property values are actually lower than the city of Atlanta's, and so are our taxes. But our schools are better, our roads are better, and our delivery of many city services are also better. And our incomes are higher, and our folks are more educated. Everything that is wrong with the city of South Fulton can be fixed by everything that is right with the city of South Fulton, by investing in ourselves. No people will ever respect our people until we start doing for ourselves that which what we've been asking other people to do. We're asking all these other corporations to come in and set up shop when we have brilliant minds, inventors, entrepreneurs, and investors who are ready to work with our city. And that is what we've done with this administration. It's why we've given over $1 million to small businesses. We have given $26 million in contracts to minorities, women, and veteran-owned companies. We have doubled the city's revenue while cutting property taxes. We have, I'm sorry, my alarm is going off. We've doubled our city's revenue by cutting property taxes and so much more. I beg you to please watch a city council meeting, not read a next door post, not watch a 60-second news story. Watch an entire city council meeting and see if the things that I am saying tonight that I have been saying for the past 8 years make sense. And if they do, please re-elect me and send me back to City Hall with a council that will help keep.
Ray Mills.
Delayed does not mean denied. We've been delayed for 8 years, people. We can't afford a sequel, a part 3 to this movie. This movie ain't been a hit. Ain't nobody wanting to see it. It flopped. We know the co-stars and the stars. I don't think we want to see him in another movie. It's time for something new. It's time for something true. No, I'm not trying to rhyme. I just came up with that. It's time to turn the page. We've given numerous of opportunities to individuals that's in this campaign for mayor, and we've seen the fruit that they bear. Again, that don't make them bad individuals. It's just time to plant new seeds in this great soil we call home. It's time to reface South Fulton. We've given 8 years to the same thing. Please don't think another 4 years is going to be different than what we already seen the past 8, just because you want to play musical chairs. Common sense. That's been my foundation. Common sense will tell you, when they show you who they are, believe them. Don't give them a promotion. Onward, outward, forward.
And that concludes our closing statements portion of our program. How about a hand for all of our candidates for a very informative discussion? As our program draws to a close, we do want to remind all those in attendance today that early voting ends on October 31st, and November 4th, of course, is Election Day. At this time, I'd like to turn our program back over to Joyce Wilson, President of the EPCP Alumni Chapter.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give our candidates another round of applause. And truly, on behalf of the East Point College Park Alumni Chapter, we really appreciate each and every one of you for coming today and sharing your thoughts and your visions so that the city of South Fulton can continue to be informed. And I can't say enough about our moderator for this evening. Let's give Ms. Deidre Dukes another round of applause as well. Thank you, Deidre. One thing I can say, Pastor Parker and I both were on the same alignment when it came to who was going to be the moderator this evening, and you definitely did an awesome job. Thank you. East Point College Park Chapter, we strive and we do everything as it relates to sisterhood, scholarship, service, and social action. Today, we were able to do sisterhood with all of our partners. We did a little brotherhood, too, with the brothers who were able to partner with us as well. We also did a service to our community. South Fulton is where we have one of our service areas. So we really hope that this tonight was able to give you what you needed. And social action, it is so important. As we've all have said, it is critical times for each and every one of us. Not only for our candidates, for them to be true to themselves and true to our constituents, but also to those of us who are here. You may not live in South Fulton, but we all have elections and things that we need to take part of. But the other part is scholarship. And because of that, on behalf Sorry about that, I should have had that. But on behalf of the East Point College Park Alumni Chapter, and Pastor Parker, if you would come forward, please. And those who are still here, who are part of our chapter, we are big in scholarship. And I know how we are here at Zion Hill as well, too. So please accept this on behalf of our chapter to go towards our scholarships here, to also continue to help deserving students to be able to do the things that they need to do going forward. So thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. We all have something we have to do. November the 4th is right around the corner. As each of your candidates has asked you to go to their websites and to get their information, it's a part of that we need to all do to make sure we've given you the opportunity, we've given you the information, now it's up to you to make sure that you're informed voters. So thank you again for coming. I would be remiss if I did not thank, again, Zion Hill for being able to host us this evening. This is our second time, and we have truly, truly, truly. The staff here at Zion Hill, the officers that we have, the tech. We got to give our tech team a big round of applause. They have really They have been so, so, so supportive. If I missed your name, it wasn't, don't blame my mind, just don't blame my heart, don't blame my mind. But there are so many who have been able to be a part to make this evening a success. For to you, we say thank you. I'll now have our Chair of Social Action to come forward, Ms. Gloria Trainum.
Good evening, everyone. Those of you who know me, I always, before I say anything, I always have to lead off with a Bible verse. And I think the one, I had two down, but I'm going to pick the one that I think fits tonight, mostly for our candidates and for our audience. It comes from James 1:5, New International Version, states, if any of you lack wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. To Reverend Dr. Aaron L. Parker, the deacons of this church, members of the Zion Hill Baptist Church, community members, President Joyce Wilson, visiting presidents, ambassadors, and other officers and members. The East Point College Park Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated extends heartfelt thanks to our partners for this collaboration on this outstanding civic event. Zion Hill Baptist Church, Sister Tina Spencer Smith, Administration Minister, Sister Claudette Garnett, Project Leader for the Community Action Business Ministry and its members. Sister Felicia Mosley, Greater Metro Atlanta Chapter of Jack and Jill of America Incorporated and their GMAC members. Sister Tico Adams, Social Action Chair for Tau Epsilon Omega Chapter, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, and the Social Action members. Brother Leslie Thompson, Social Action Chapter Chair, and his members of the Men of Thundering Tau Chapter, Omega Psi Phi. These partners did an amazing job organizing a forum to help voters in the city of South Fulton make informed decisions about their next mayor. The forum empowered voters to make thoughtful choices when heading to the polls. It was such a privilege to collaborate with you, and I'm grateful for everything you have done. I am excited about our next adventure together. A huge thanks to you from East Point College Park alumni, President Joyce Wilson, and our President, Bridget Harris and LaShawn Gonzalez, for their incredible collaboration and support in making sure this event took place. I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to my Social Action Committee, the chairs, Sarah Georgiana Bolden, Sarah Marsha Fallard, and Sarah Stephanie Fields, as well as my entire Social Action Committee for their hard work and dedication over the past weeks and behind the scenes, and especially today, making this event a success. Most importantly, thanks to the City of South Fulton mayoral candidates for taking on the challenge and participating and sharing your vision with the city's future. We are so happy all of you have showed up. And a big sincerely thank this afternoon for our Sarah, if she would come forward, our moderator, Sarah Deidre Dukes. Sarah Dukes, words cannot express how happy we were, and you were, who we picked too. We want to give you this token of appreciation and thank you so much for your time and making sure this was a success. Thank you. Thank you to everyone joining us, whether in person or through the social media. It truly means a lot. We have compiled all the essential information to help you make an informed choice during the early voting, which runs through October, from now through October 31st. It started last Tuesday, but it ends October 31st. For those waiting to vote, we hope this will also be helpful to you to head to the polls on Tuesday, November 4th, if you should decide to wait to that day to vote in the Public Service Commission special general municipal election, as well as the mayor's. We appreciate your presence tonight and look forward to seeing the results, especially coming in. We have some good results coming in. You've seen all the questions that came forward. We just can't wait to see what the survey shows. For the final task, there's a QR code that should display soon. You want to use the link shown on the screen to complete the survey for tonight's forum. If you are part of the in-person audience, just use your phone and take a picture, and you can take it home and do it at that time. If you're online, it will be out there. Online, you should see also an actual link if you're not technology savvy to use the QR code. Your feedback is important in planning future candidate forums. Thank you all for attending, and to our virtual audience, we appreciate you watching and sending questions and making sure that this forum was a success. Wishing everyone a blessed and wonderful evening and safe travels to your destination. And please, do not forget to fill out the survey. And we thank you for coming. Good night. To all our partners, would y'all come forward? We want to take a picture. And candidates. Please stay up front. All the candidates, all partners, please come forward. No, but we can next time. I didn't have a president to ask. I would love to do something with you.
Could we please have all of the candidates and those partners come as soon as possible, please, so we can get at least one group picture, and then we have another picture. Our pastor has to leave, so we want to respect him for that time. All of the partners, please come on down as soon as possible so that we can respect the time. Then we'll take another picture as soon as we do that.
Partners and the candidates, please come down to take a picture.
Yes. Partners and candidates.
Partners and candidates, please come to take a picture. Want somebody on the ground right here? All right. Go up one. Okay. Partners and candidates.
Partners and candidates, please, please, please stand up on the steps and come on so that we can get this picture. We will take another picture, but we need to do it so our pastor can leave.
Some people on this side.